Well, hello, what's going on, guys? This is Malcolm, and you are on Malcolm Talks. Thanks for visiting the channel. Today, I want to talk to you all about how to learn faster. Ways that you can get information into your brain and actually stay in there faster. Is that going to help you? Well, hell, it helped me out a lot, and I'm going to tell you exactly how you can do it to help yourself. Now, everybody wants to learn faster. And the reason why you want to learn faster is because you're going to get new skills. You're going to know how to do a lot more things. You're going to become an expert, a master at certain things. And what does that mean? Well, that means you're going to make more money. Let's just be real about this. If you can learn new things and master new skills faster, then that's going to make you that much more valuable in the marketplace. Guys, all of us can do this. It's very, very simple. And let's start from number one. Number one, you got to understand that your brain, it is a machine. You can learn new information. The only problem is it's not a good idea to sit there for hours and hours and try to learn information. All you need is about 30 minutes before you stop and take a break. That's the first step, the first principle, and basically what I'm trying to explain to you guys. When you learn things, I want you to sit down and look at that information for 30 minutes, 40 minutes at the max. Stop, take a break, go get a glass of water, make you a cup of coffee, watch a little bit of TV for 5-10 minutes, relax a little bit, then go back to it. There's something about working on something for a set amount of time and then stopping, letting your brain absorb all this information and then starting back. It's actually called the Premortal, there's something called a Premortal Timer that I use. Premortal Timer, I think that's how you pronounce it. It is on, you can get it on from the Chrome web store. That's where I found my little app or whatever. Very simple. You just click a button, it starts, and it'll go for 20-30 minutes and stop. Lets you know that that's the time for you to take a break. Very, very powerful. Use it. Number two, there's something called the 80-20 rule. You have to understand, and I'm going to explain this in just a second. You have to understand where you're spending your time. The 80-20 rule basically states that there is a much deeper meaning in the things that we do on a day-to-day basis. 80% of the value that you get out of life is spent in 20% of where you spend most of your time. 20% of the things that you do result in 80% of the value. So for instance, if you decide that you're going to stay up all night long and study for something, study for a paper, all right, you put a lot of time in, but all of that stuff isn't going into your head. But if you take the time to just put a timer out there and just say, look, I'm going to study this for 30 minutes, then I'm going to stop. Then I'm going to come back and study for another 30 minutes, stop. Then come back and study for another 20-30 minutes. What you've done is you've basically taken 20% of your time, which has been a lot less time than trying to stay up all night reading this information and learning things. 20% of your time is going to give you 80% of the value that you're looking for. And I might not have explained that just right, but you can look it up. It's actually called the Pareto Principle. Pareto Principle, or Pareto, something like that. Look it up. Google it. It's very, very important. Pareto, potato, I don't know. Look it up. It's very, very interesting. Basically, it just says the majority of the effects that happen in life come from the minority of the causes. Okay, so here's the cause, and then here's the huge effect. 20% of what happens in life comes from the cause, just the small 20% that you put in. And then that creates 80% of the effects in your life. But a lot of us don't know that. So what we do is we do a whole bunch of stuff, not realizing that that small 20% of what you're already doing is actually responsible for 80% of the information that you're dealing with. Yeah. And number three, another very important point on how to learn faster. It's something that's so obvious, you should know this. It's called repetition. 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 It's so very important. It's the way we wire our brains. And like I said, I'm not going to go into the scientific detail. But when you repeat things, when you do something over and over again, it actually wires your brain. And you can focus on a lot more things than you could have if you basically up the repetition. So for instance, let's say that you're studying for a test. You could either do one or two things. One, you could stay up all night and study for 10 hours straight, right? Or number two, you could try to plan a little bit ahead and just study for 30 minutes here, stop, 30 minutes, stop, 30 minutes, stop. You want to do the repetition piece. That is going to create the neural pathways in your brain that are extremely powerful. It's going to help you learn faster, going to help you remember things, and it's going to give you some of the results that you're looking for. All right. Now, guys, those are the only three things. Let me do a quick recap. Number one, just do 20-30 minutes of time of focused effort at a time. Stop, take a break, 5-10 minutes, then go back to it. Very, very important. I use something called the Premortal Timer. Remember, I talked about that. Let's see, what else did we talk about? Oh, number two, the 80-20 rule. Realize that a lot of the things you do, 20% of what you do, a very small percentage of the things that you're doing are actually responsible for 80% of the results that you're getting. So that's why you want to work smarter. That's why I'm giving you this information, so that you can work smarter. Spend your time more wisely, and it's going to pay off more dividends later. Number three, and the last rule, is just repetition. Understanding that our brains are wired in such a way that you can get a lot more information by just repeating it over and over again. Don't know why, but that's just the way it works, folks. I want to thank you guys for watching the channel. Hopefully, you're going to use some of this stuff. It's only three things. You're going to learn faster. You're going to know more information. You're going to be successful. This is Malcolm Talks. Take care of yourselves.